Okay, folks, welcome to NFP Live for 3rd of June 2022. Welcome to the broadcast. We are live out on YouTube and for the boys and girls in our Duggan Capital Discord, Rob, Ollie, and Lewis, good afternoon. A few more should be spilling in here in a minute. Okay, so we're about 20 minutes off NFP here. And I just wanted to have a couple of words about where we are, all in all, coming into this figure. So, expectations. Well, the spread is wide here. Kurt, one of the guys in our team here, sharing the spread today. SocGen coming in at a beat of 440,000 above consensus, which is 325. And on the low, Nat West, always quite bearish with Nat West, 250,000 expectation. Unemployment rate, the spread, well, it's flat. It's 3.5%. All the banks in agreement there. And the average hourly earnings, which I think is going to be the most important component of today's announcement. Spread is SocGen at 0.4%, down to as low as what do we see here? Yeah, probably 0.3%. So pretty tight there. Actually, high low is going up to as high as 5. Oh yeah. Okay, right. So, all right. Let's talk Fed, right? So, what's been moving the market around quite a lot has been the introduction of the rate hikes. We've had the two now. We're looking at 50 basis point hikes, base case scenario for the next two meetings, June, July. There's talk of quarter basis point hikes thereafter, but we're not going to get into that sort of chat right now. What I want to talk about is that we kind of, if we get a positive number here, say we get, like 440 or 450,000 jobs there, that's going to feed into perceivably a dovish Fed, i.e. that they're going to take it easy on further rate hikes. Now, I think the market is going to try and interpret a beat here as that the Fed are going to do a quarter point basis hike on the next meeting, or potentially in the next two meetings. I don't really see that happening, and I don't like this story that I'm hearing in places, reading in places, because it's just saying so. Jobs figures fine, but inflation is inflation, and sure. We came in just above expectations, but below prior on our PPIs, CPIs. All right, so we are sort of starting to come off and turn down a wee bit now, So was Jerome Powell right but just wrong with timing when he was talking about transitory? I think so, for sure. But coming back to how to trade this for me today, look, big beat number, dovish Fed. I'm not buying into any of that crap. I think they're going to do half basis point hikes no matter what they telegraph over the coming weeks. The interesting thing here for me is the average hourly earnings. Okay, so consensus is to come in at 5.2%. Prior was 5.5%. That's really important because when we are in this inflationary environment, the one thing to kind of stave off stagflation and to keep ourselves on the right path to fight that is at least people are making more money, right? We don't want to see a miss here on the 5.2, and which will be a big miss on the prior of 5.5, which may get revised up or down, but it's really important that people are still making, have wages staying where they are or rising. We don't need to see wages going off. And if we do see wages going off, like a miss on like a 5% or 4.8, 4.6% coming in, well, then we're kind of in an environment where, basically shit costs a lot more, but people are earning less and less, right? And so we see this jawboning of effectively the what people are earning and what things cost, right? So, and I think that's going to be the figure for me to take a trade thesis off today. So if we get a beat on average hourly earnings, and we get, something that's in line or above expectations on the headline figure, 325,000, then I'm looking for the longs. Equities are looking pretty positive from a touch on the 20 EMA, like yesterday on the SPOOs. We've driven up from there, holding quite well above around 41.36s. We'll have a look at the charts in a minute now, 15 minutes to the data. But yeah, that's my hypo. Now, if we get a miss on the wages and we come in line or below the 325,000 on the headline figure, well, then I'd be looking for shorts. I would be looking for shorts. I think the VIX got a little bit beaten up yesterday. It might want to recover a bit today. People buying more put protections. So let's see. Invariably, I don't always trade NFP because it's a very layered, complex number. So it can really ruin your week. It can really ruin your week. You might have had a good week on a Friday. You come into NFP, you get a rush of blood to the head. Next thing you know, you've given back your week and then some, and you're probably underwater for the week if you're not careful. So just wanted to cover that as we kind of face into now 14 minutes to the data. So if anyone's on YouTube watching, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Most people are in Europe, well, in the UK, formerly Europe, are off today and were yesterday, and they're coming into a 4-day Jubilee weekend now. So it's thin for traders on the ground out of London today. A dedicated view from the Etherington clan I can see. So yeah, let's have a look at the charts. Let's see what we can see here on the charts. Let's transition over. All right, so we'll talk about oil in a minute. Not a tradable product on NFP, FYI. But yeah, let's see what the SPOOs is telling us here now. Big day yesterday, as you can see, from that 20 EMA touch, and then never look back. Now, technically, it actually didn't. For the longest time, it just did not trade on the 20 EMA. And it was hovering. Finally, then I turned with this. I was actually just doing a lot of scalping in here yesterday because we had this lovely breakdown right here into the 40.93s, which was a level we were well aware of by that point. Got in on a long here, small size, rode it back just a small amount, didn't actually ride it back to this test on the trend, and then went south. And it felt like we spent the longest time in here not trading the 20 EMA. So it's kind of scalping for the shorts for the breakthrough. Didn't happen. Got off of them. Was scalping long and short in here, and then eventually was able to hold a long position here, which initially I got into on a scalp, just running it back to the 40.93s, then expecting another. Well, anything could have happened. Could have turned down, but it came back to the 40.93s there, and then did push a lot, and pushed quite well into the close, as you can see. Could be mistaken for oil here. So kind of the swing on the day actually was into the close. That was 2.5% range on the day there. So really nice performance from the buyers stepping in there from the 20 EMA. Okay, so just to get back to the dailies here on the SPOOs, pushing up into the 50 this morning, taking resistance. Down we come. Big line in the sand though here, the kind of the lows of the 15th of March 2022. And then a lot of, low here on the 26th of April, the low of the 3rd of May, broke down there in early May and came back. So I still like this line in the sand just as general marker. If you kind of miss out on a trade, you can kind of get long or short there. Gives you a bit of a barometer as to what's going on in this market. So for me, look, we've held on to good gains from yesterday so far. This whole area in SPOOs is going to be the big decider for me on equities today. Should we break down on this? We do have supports that we saw yesterday on the 20 EMA. Now that's going to be confluent with the 4093s. But the longs certainly seem to have it. So again, coming back to my thesis, if we have a beat or in line, preferably a beat on the average hourly earnings, and then we have a beat or in line on the jobs figure, then I think this area will hold. We should look long. A miss and the inverse on all that, then we're down. We're going. I think there'll be a lot of pressure here to push through the S1 and down. So that thesis kind of carries on to Nasdaq, for example. Here we're holding the 12701's range low. It's not a very good range, but it's generally a nice little temperature check on where we are in the weekly bars. Lows here on the 19th and the 25th of Jan 2021, again in March, in 2021. And so we're just back up to test right here at the low, which was the 10th of May 2021, the week of. So we've pushed into that already this week, and resistance down 12,898, 3/4. Are we going to fill up the boots with the longs and the 701s here and then drive? Yeah, it could happen on a positive number, for sure. On a positive number. I just would feel really confused if we have a miss on the number and these markets want to go crazy bid. It's probably indicative that I'm totally out of tune with not having bought the dip, like everyone else. Meanwhile, Jamie Dimon says there's a hurricane on the way, and just nothing makes sense. So Dow, looking here on the Dow, I mean, I think the Dow is generally quite protected here. Now, however, just looking at this chart on the daily bars, look at the trend here that we've got, right? Look at this trend. We've broken down. Need to come back here, and we need to trade above 3303s for longs to be interested, to be honest. But for now, I mean, this is just looks like the most amazing trend break, pullback, resell down. And if we breach the 32.809s here, which is just let's say the 20 EMA, which we did trade in yesterday. But if we breach that 20 EMA, 32,627 is that market right now. That's a daily EMA. Then I think watch out below, because then we're gonna breach 32,358. Inversely, on the upside, good push yesterday, a little bit of pullback maybe warranted here. S1 or 32,809s, get on the bids, and then we push back up. I don't know. I think this thing, there's a lot of value on the Dow, and I just don't think we're setting in for the big sell-off. Like, I just don't know about a hurricane being on the way, as Jamie Dimon is saying. All right, 7 minutes now to the data. I'm just going to lead with this myself. I'm just going to read out the headline and the average hourly earnings year on year and month on month figure. Meanwhile, oil making good gains on the session here, up 0.3%, but really decent to see oil recovering from what was 111s yesterday, and this big pool of buying down here, as you can see, is lovely level. Tino's also setting up for a trend break here, which will push to the S1, and I'd be looking at 118.10s on the downside. So I'm not going to have the squawk on today. I think it's just wholly really unfocusing to have the squawk. It's just too much information comes over on the number. So for me, I'm targeting up on oil. I'm long here, 116.30s. CVAH imbalance up. So I'm looking at I'm actually looking at the big one, 119 77s for oil. On a continuation through the day's highs up here, and so, I think just mega bullish. It's just behaved so strongly over the last day. I mean, I was looking for the shorts. I really was, Gonna get the VIX up top right as well. I don't think anyone's gonna be doing anything massive on cable today. So here we go. We'll go to the 15-minute chart view. So we're holding quite well above the ETO here, 2550s on VIX. Really beating up down through the 2578s yesterday. Big push there. So again, the resistance upside is 2675s, and supports below are currently 2578s, and then it's 2476s on the VIX. So should we breach, this will really run to the downside, and equities will, upside on equities, 4 minutes now, upside on equities, forget about, highs of day. The bull picture on this is 42, 44 is 3/4. That's going to be a nice move here. From where we are, that's going to be 2.4% move to the upside. I think NASDAQ, yeah, fine. We may find supports 12,701s, and if this is a good number, I think we're going to R1, and we could probably push higher actually, but R1 first target 13,045s. Dow looks a bit compromised, to be honest. Upside targets would be the 35 or 33 587s and the 200 EMA 33 788s. So with the data coming out now in 3 minutes time, I'm going to lead with the headline figure expectation 325, prior 428,000. Then I'll go straight to the average hourly earnings month on month and year on year. Year on year and then month on month. Year on year expectation 5.2% and month on month 0.4%. Average weekly hours, I'll cover expectation 34.6. And then private non-farm payrolls as well, expected at 325. Unemployment rate as well. 2 minutes. So watch out for a dollar. I think generally the dollar has been testing on this upper trend, but by and large not able to hold it. Really not able to hold it here. So I see weakness in the dollar getting back below 101 spot 33s, and below there I think it's gonna have a really good run. Now, do I see that sort of move today? Yeah, and a positive number, I think we could really get push the dollar down. Yeah. 30 seconds. 390, beat 390, a headline figure. Average hourly year on year 5.2% in line. Average hourly earnings month on month 0.3, miss on the 0.4. Weekly hours 34.6 in line. Private payrolls beat 333,000. Unemployment rate beat 3.6 above 3.5%. Okay, looking at this market here. Just seeing what we can look at. Oil actually taking a bid on this beat. So equity should pick up their socks here and take a little bit of a bid. Seeing certainly sustained buying on this right now. So very fluid stuff on the SPOs or on the Nasdaq. 12,701s, just shy of a tick or two there. Taking the bid. 898s is your target on the upside. SPO's target here is going to be 42, 44s. High of day also to contend with. First up here, what's that? 41.89s is high of day. VIX getting crushed down now below the 25.78s and VWAP. Seeing dollar, not much going on in the currencies. Bonds taking a wallop there, as I was saying pre the data. Bund down through the trend, down through S1. Target here is 118.10s. And I think we could go even further now. Oil you're seeing very close to high of day at 117.69s. Wouldn't really normally be trading oil on an NFP. But I think buyers any excuse here on oil, get a bit of weakness in that Dixie as well. All right, there's buyer here 41.50s on the bid, 260 lots on the SPOs. Not really seeing any significant size apart from that in the immediate 200 tick range on the SPOs here. Oil just drifting, sort of almost light volume here, but yeah, oil's going to have a good one. So just to recap on these figures, headline coming in a beat 390,000 above the expectation 325, prior revised up to 436. Average hourly earnings year on year coming in there at 5.2% in line. Month on month 0.3 is a miss on the 0.4 for the month on month. And the private, private is a beat at 333,000 above 325, prior revised down to 405,000. Unemployment rate for May 7.1%, and that's the U6 unemployment. Unemployment rate for May is 3.6%, beat 0.1% on the prior 3.5. Okay, so next up is going to be 245 for the market and services composite PMIs. So yeah, it's just I think that's been enough to really show us the strength in this area for the SPOs. I'd be really surprised if we print now on the S1, but listen, it's trading. Anything could happen. But I like the longs. I like the longs here. Just gearing up now, I think. Yeah, I'm going to be tearing out 41.84s. What did I say? 41.84s just ahead of the high of day. And then what did we say above there? 42.44s would be 42.44s would be delightful. I think I'm going to take 42.38s just in front of that number. All right, so this has been a live YouTube NFP. Hope everyone's loving it, and hope everyone's chilling out. To the guys in Ollie's back garden, glad to see you can barbecue and trade at the same time and sling a couple of beers. Reed, what is Reed doing? Are you long this NASDAQ, buddy? Right, cool. All right, YouTube, please do click the link to subscribe and to like. It would really mean a lot to us here in Duggan Capital to get you following us on YouTube and liking these videos. Yeah, listen, apart from that, long weekend coming in. In Ireland, we have a bank holiday. It's going to be great. Good weather. PJ's first birthday party tomorrow. And yeah, listen, have a good one. Take care.